So the big thing with NLP, here we've got this amazing kind of field. There's lots and lots of things we're doing. From a sort of basic presuppositional point of view, we're starting off from this idea of maps and territories, utterly confirmed by all kinds of cognitive research and things like that. This is not some kind of outlier idea that we construct and reconstruct our realities, and that we organize things through certain kinds of filters and certain kinds of beliefs. And that's what cognitive bias is as well. This whole idea of, like this, on the day we did biases, Ralph Dobelli's book has, 100 different cognitive biases with all the research in there. It's a very, very good book for those of you who are interested in knowing just how crazy human beings are. Like the maps that we make and will defend at all costs. It's quite extraordinary how we're filtering and building our reality all the time. So this is like a very interesting thing. How do we update and transform our maps? Clearly we do it naturally. Clearly we have an inbuilt learning adaptive capability in our human nervous systems in order to be able to develop and grow and kind of have more and more useful maps, as we would say in NLP. More useful and meaningful maps is what we're going for, isn't it? Because we can never really know the territory. Because from a Zen point of view, there is no territory. There's only a kind of soup of quarks. Things only appear. I mean, this was even in the Daily Mail. I was just amazed this week. It says there's no reality, because of particles and waves. Things only appear when you see them. When you're not looking, there's nothing there. And so we actually live in this extraordinary kind of field that we don't really know very much about at the moment. And so we make it make sense, and we make our maps kind of robust, and those maps are made through, as it says in the structure of magic, these several layerings of deletion, distortion, generalization. As a human being, I don't have the same kind of, infrared as a snake has. I can't smell things like a dog does. My senses, there's all kind of bandwidths out there that I don't have direct access to because I just don't have the equipment to pick it up because I'm a human being. I'm with a human being's nervous system. So right before, we've started, I'm operating on a limitation in regards to this kind of weird territory that we're actually all in. Secondly, of course, I have my family of origin and the culture that we're in, so that I start speaking a certain way. I start taking certain kinds of things for granted as being how you should behave and what is real and true and, what things mean. I just take all of that in completely unconsciously. So, and I think that's one of the issues, isn't it? You find that out when you marry into a different family and they do things in very weird, freakish ways compared to you. Or you go to different countries and, people are behaving in ways you can't quite kind of filter and respond to appropriately. And you realize human beings, these amazing, sensibility and neuro-linguistic systems where we're setting down these specific kinds of programs in order to create a kind of workable reality and a livable kind of life, isn't it? That's sort of roughly, it's kind of very rough and ready. So the idea of the map and the territory, certain in terms of our belief work, is to go, what's livable, what's workable, what has the feeling of kind of extending and expanding something to do with our reality that is meaningful and useful to us. Because we can't not have all these biases. Confirmation bias is the easiest one, isn't it? That's self-fulfilling prophecy. I think something, And actually, the more I think it and the more energy and commitment I put into it, the more almost anything you say, I'm just going to go, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Because you're a bit, this is like the climate change debate, so-called debate in American politics.